particular question, you know, grab the mic, but don't feel obligated. So first question, I've noticed that a lot of producers with successful online beat sales don't limit themselves to just their beats, or they use YouTube videos, or they upload their beats to SoundCloud, or they have an official website, or they're using different social media platforms, and possibly mailing lists. So which platforms do you use to promote your BeatStars page and increase your sales?
Yeah, personally, I think you've got to have a representation on all platforms. I'm talking YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You kind of got to look at yourself as a, you know, what would a big corporation have? They'd have something on everything, right? If someone likes Instagram more, you need to be there. So I wouldn't limit yourself to one. I don't limit myself to one platform. I am selective in where I put my marketing money. I don't market myself financially on all platforms. I'm selective in that respect. I just use the ones that I like more and the ones I get results from. But yeah, I think you got to be everywhere now, because different clients have their preferred social media platforms or beat selling platforms.
Yeah, I think you can pretty much use every platform kind of differently, especially like for Instagram, for instance. When you're in the studio and you just cook something up that you think is really hot, you could just post a preview of the beat, you know, do the right hashtags in there, maybe, you know, not like spamming people, but kind of just posting it, get it out there, get a preview out there so people can hit you up right away. If you uploaded the beat afterwards to BeatStars, for instance, people can check out the beat right there, can go right there and purchase it right away. That would be like one method, for instance. And yeah, other than that, also YouTube, obviously, for uploading just your beats, as well as SoundCloud, all that stuff. Make sure to post your music everywhere you can, because you never know who listens, you know.
All right, I do the same thing as everyone else pretty much, but I'm not gonna say that because everyone said basically everything I was gonna say. So the main thing that I wanna talk about is just email marketing. So I do YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. Also investing, so paying for promotions, whether that's on Facebook, Instagram, wherever. At some point you have to spend some sort of money to make money. So it's just like any other business. Same thing as a brick and mortar business. You have to spend some sort of money to push your music. So and then you got to keep the customers. And email list is like probably my main source of income. Just keeping like paying for promotion, getting new customers in, and then using that email list to keep them coming back over and over and over again. Return business is going to be like your biggest asset, I think, or at least one of them. So.
Yeah, so pretty much I use every social media platform. I use Instagram, you know, YouTube, Facebook, everything. And also with ProPage, we got it's called a Facebook Pixel. So anybody that's visited your website, you know what I'm saying, it automatically captures it in that pixel. Then I just use that on Facebook, and all the traffic that I got to my ProPage, it'll just constantly like run advertisement to them. So I mean, that's a good way to get somebody, like use everything to get to your, you know, wherever you sell your beats, and then just use the Facebook marketing like to, you know, bring them back, and constantly bring them back. I always like posting new content, even if it's just pictures and videos of you in the studio. So, I mean, everybody likes to see that, you know, like they say, you never know who went to your page or who's listening to it, you know. Because, I mean, nowadays, like, major artists are on YouTube and everything, like, looking for beats. So, you know, you could easily get a placement. Just stay active on all platforms.
Yeah, you kind of got to think of it like this, like the up-and-coming generation of artists, especially also the artists that we work with in Germany. We just built a studio there and moved there like 3 months ago. A lot of people who hit us up for beats there actually give us references to beats that they heard somewhere on YouTube, you know, and from that you basically know that they are looking to find their style online, so you got a good chance, no matter on what platform you are, just to catch their attention. And if you got the purchase link right in there, you might just get a you know, placement straight off that. Also, another thing that's pretty crucial, what I can recommend as well, is if you decide to make your own website, and let's say you use your BeatStars store widget there, You can also optimize your website for SEO. So basically, yeah, as my colleague basically already said, you got to spend money to make money. So you might as well, you know, get an agency to review your website if it's up to par with SEO standards, so people can really find you online for the right keywords and kind of find you through Google and through other search engines as well. Make blog posts, make sure we deliver output on a regular basis, because this way kind of the search engines will see as well that your website is active, and they will put you higher in ranking as well. So that's another chance, you know, to kind of grab customers just off the search engines.
I would definitely encourage everybody here present to research pixel codes and what they are and how you can use them across multiple platforms. You can definitely use it with BeatStars, but you can use it with your website. It all goes back to Facebook, and it's really insanely precise advertising tool. To piggyback off of what the crates were just saying when it comes to SEO and keyword tagging, how important is optimization and presentation when it comes to beat videos and keywords that are allowed in certain platforms such as YouTube or Facebook or even Instagram hashtags? How important is optimizing that to reach your target?
It's everything, literally. Like if you don't, keywords on, especially on YouTube, man, like that is the most important thing. That's why people do type beats. Like I don't think anyone really wants to do someone else's, like take their beat, their art that they made, and say it's someone else's type of beat. But it just works, man. Like that's why we do it. No one really wants to do it. At least I don't. But I do it because it works. So it's all about keywords, man. That's why type beats exist. So
Yeah, just to piggyback off that, type beats, from my point of view, they've got a pretty bad rep, and a lot of people in the industry say, man, why are you making type beats? But what they don't understand, and what you've got to try to understand, is you can make, when I say I'm going to make a Kevin Gates type beat, I'm going to make a beat I would give to Kevin Gates, but it's still my sound. So that's why it's type beat. It's not me trying to make a song that already exists that he's made. So I think it's important to be original in that respect. Make type beats, but make them sound like you as well. You'll get very limited clients from just sounding like everyone else.
So I believe type, keywords and everything, and like the whole type beats. So you might have I use it as like a subgenre, you know what I'm saying? So if I make a trap beat, it might be like a future type trap beat, and then it might be like a Kevin Gates trap beat. Like it'll be like two different styles, or like Metro Boomin type trap beat or something like that. There's like different styles with trap. So I use the type beat as like another subgenre for it. And I mean that way, if somebody's looking for a specific beat, like an artist, say they favorite Kevin Gates or they favorite Future, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna look up a Future type trap beat, So, I mean, I think just it's easier for your customer to find you using the tags and everything.
Hey, before the crates talk, I want to ask them a question specifically. For some reason on my Facebook page, and I told them this last night, I'm always seeing their Facebook ads advertising their beats, promoting their brand, and so forth.
Same.
So they're obviously doing something right, because we're all seeing it. And I don't think I like their page. I'm sorry to admit, I will do that after today.
It's all good, bro.
But I just want to ask you how you optimize those ads, because that's another really important tool for targeting a specific audience that's going to buy your beats.
I mean, like on Facebook, you can do it like a couple different ways. You can import your mailing list, and then you can make a, what's the name again? Lookalike audience. So Facebook will use some kind of algorithm. I'm not sure how they do it, but they will look like what do the people that are in your mailing list like on Facebook, and then they will do like a lookalike audience based on that. And it works pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and also you can create audiences of basically the Facebook pixel that you can embed into your BeatStars widget as well. It tracks the people that are playing your stuff. So probably the reason why Pay One sees our ads is because he's going to our website, listening to the stuff, and we create an audience of our listeners. So we can basically remarket to our listeners. So when they go to Facebook, they just listen to the beat and they see the ad, you know, like come back, check out more beats, we just uploaded new stuff. So you can basically just use Instagram and Facebook as a good tool to keep the people that already mess with you involved with you as well. So yeah, that's pretty much why they all stumble across.
So in other words, all of us are stalking your beat store and checking the beats out.
Maybe, I don't know, or you at least checked out the website or something.
You know what? I probably. This isn't the time. To follow up with DG, he said something earlier about his mailing list being the majority of his sales because they're return customers. Just very briefly, what mailing list platform do you use?
Get Response.
What is it?
Get Response.
Why do you use that one over the MailChimp or other options?
I started out on FanBridge. I don't know if you guys do that.
Yeah, we are on that as well.
Yeah. So I started on that one. I had no idea what I was doing. I failed like a million times. And then one of my homies, Epic, told me about Get Response and said it was way better. Honestly, don't really know if it matters. I don't think it matters at all. I just got used to Get Response. It's pretty much the same as any other one.
So new question. Selling beats online is definitely a full-time job, and it involves making beats. As you've heard, it involves organizing and running marketing campaigns and definitely customer service. But a lot of producers who are quote-unquote internet producers are going gold and platinum and off of traditional industry placements. So how do you balance, if you have ended up in that space, how do you balance selling beats online to the public and then working directly with recording artists, whether independent or major?
Well, personally, I think a good approach is to be super organized in what you're doing in your day. I mean, you can plan your day, you can plan your week, even your month. Personally, what I do is I'll say, okay, this week I'm just making industry stuff, so I'll knock out as many beats as I can that I know where I'm going to send them. I'll get that done, you know, I'll knock out 20 beats, I'll send them off. Next week, I'll plan a week, I'm just gonna make stuff for the site, you know, I'll knock all those beats out, get them mixed, get them ready. You know, the third week I might do drum kits. So I'm just trying to be super organized, you know, with my creativity, just to make sure that, you know, I know exactly what I'm doing. Because the worst thing is when you sit down in the studio and you don't really know who you're creating for, you know, you're just kind of going through the motions. I'm just gonna make a beat. Personally, for me, that doesn't work. I need to know what I'm working on, who's it going to, you know, so that helps me be super organized, and, you know, I can pretty much juggle everything I need to juggle in that way.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is too, like, for example, with BeatStars, like if you have a big offline catalog of beats that you already made, you can kind of schedule your uploads and just knock that out for the whole month. Let's say you upload 3 beats a week, that's what we usually do, and just post some spontaneously here and there throughout the week just to keep the, let's say, engagement going. You can basically do it once in a month, that you export all your videos for the beats, all the content, tag it up, and kind of schedule it for all the online platforms. So the only thing you have to do is kind of, at the end of the week, put your stuff live, promote it the right way, where you want to promote it, maybe even record a video of it for Instagram afterwards, put it out there, all that stuff. So you have everything scheduled for the month, and then you can basically go in the studio and create once again. For me, speaking, it's a little bit different, because usually I just sit down, make beats spontaneously the way I feel at that moment. Sometimes I know what a couple of artists that we mess with looking for at that moment, so I try to go in that direction a little bit, but most of the time, it's just important to keep creating, like, all the time. So if your job is being a music producer, you should be focused on delivering output, so making beats all the time. And if you want to take some time off, you know, that's good too, because at the same time you can have your stuff scheduled, go out for 2 weeks, and if you got Wi-Fi somewhere, you can just put the beats out while you are on vacation and people gonna still buy it. You can check your email, so pretty much, yeah, just an output game, but you can also do a lot of work beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, we got like a lot of artists coming through to the studio. So if we have like a new batch of beats, that let's say like 20 beats, and we show them to all the artists that come through, and they pick, let's say 5, we know, okay, we can upload the other 15 to the website.
So to follow up on that question, I use the term internet producer, kind of in the air quotes, because that's kind of become, I think less so now, but traditionally that's been used as a derogatory phrase, which is, in my personal opinion, this is DJ Payne 1 talking, not BeatStars representative talking, I think it's kind of ridiculous because internet producers are winning. But have you ever had a problem working with major label artists because of your reputations as internet producers?
Well, for us, it was basically like the other way around, because we already had an established business online where we was making solid money just through selling beats online. When artists approach us, they couldn't really, you know, put us down or really try to give us small amounts of money for the beats, but we could tell them like, okay man, we already making a living of beats online, so you got to pay to work with us. So I guess it's it's not a bad thing to be an internet producer. It's completely the other way around. It empowers the producer, because you are your own boss, and you can decide who you work with, and you don't depend on the industry as much anymore, because you know that you will be making money online regardless of people approaching you aside from that. And also you got your whole legal stuff sorted out, you know, with BeatStars. When you are there, you can read through the context, so you kind of get the chance to educate yourself on how the contracts work, how the licenses work, and you basically got a basis for negotiation when you come in the industry. So it's pretty much already what Payne said. It's like the other way around. I think that internet producers, so-called internet producers, will be the real producers, the real big producers in the future, because everybody is online now, you know. You are probably all on your phones like all day long, like checking Instagram and everything, so that's where it's at, you know.
Yeah, I mean, again, just to follow on from that, I think whether you choose to be an internet producer or like an industry producer, just make sure whichever one you go to, own it, you know. So if you're an industry producer, you might not want to sell beats online. But I think nowadays, honestly, being an online producer, in my opinion, just gives you a lot more power. Like, you are your own boss. When you rely a lot on industry placements, you're sending out a lot of beats, you're following up with people that might not always want to talk to you, you're waiting got a little bit more security in the way that it's your money, you know when the money's coming and you can control that. But to answer the original question, I personally haven't had anyone say to me, I'm not fucking with your beats because you're an online producer. I've never had that from an artist. I haven't had that experience personally.
Most industry producers, except for the big ones, I mean, from my experience, this is just from my experience, I know a lot of people who have a lot of placements, and a lot of them still work really shitty day jobs they hate. So I think just selling beats online in general is just another way to make money, and it's going to support that. So if you want to chase it, you have so much more time and just leverage in general to do that. So
I'm going to jump forward to another question because it relates to this one. A lot of producers ask me about this scenario, which is selling exclusive rights to beats that they may have already leased online, which I guess in theory could get tricky. What is your experience with that particular scenario?
Actually, we were just talking about this earlier, kind of. I hate selling exclusives. First of all, I usually miss my beats after I do, and it's usually like the beat that's gonna sell the most. And in the long run, you're probably gonna make, depends on what you're doing, but if you're making good money already, you're probably gonna make way more money in the long run not selling an exclusive. But I also lease the beat. So if it's already leased and I'm selling an exclusive, I'm gonna try and talk the artist out of it, to be honest with you, because sometimes it doesn't make sense. Like if you just uploaded it and you barely sold any leases, that's one thing. But for me, it just doesn't make sense for the artist to spend however much money. I usually charge at least $1,000 or more, so I usually just try and talk them out of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to the leasing versus exclusive, you know, I'm going to run on what he said. You know, you got to be patient. I mean, if you're first starting out selling beats online, you're gonna want to take those exclusive sales. You know, you're not going to recoup that leasing just starting out. So, you know, all those exclusive sales, you can put it back into marketing. You know, that's how I built my business. I sold exclusives and sort of built up a lease business with that money. But, you know, now, I mean, I really don't sell many exclusives that I've had online, not because of the legal thing, which I'll go on to in a minute, but just, honestly, my beats make more on the market than most artists would be willing to pay. You know, I quote artists what I would make with it on the market, and they, you know, they honestly wouldn't email me back. In regards to when there is an artist that want to sell it, that want to buy an exclusive beat that has been leased out, number one priority with that client is be transparent. You got to tell them, look, man, you know, this has been leased out. It might have been leased out 100 times. I just want to let you know that, right? Normally they'll answer back with the question, so what am I getting with the exclusive? What, you know, why would I buy it exclusively? So then you say, look, man, you know, with my leases, I don't give up publishing, you know, so you wouldn't really be able to register a beat you leased off me with a performing rights agency. Legally, people still do it, you know, it's cool. But legally, you wouldn't be able to do it. If you bought exclusive rights to this beat, that would buy you rights to be able to register this, to be able to get you publishing. We do a publishing split. And something else I add into this, which is super important and getting even more important, is YouTube monetization. Artists are not allowed to monetize songs they've made on YouTube with my beats. If they buy exclusive rights, they buy that. They can do that. So that's how I do it. I have a full contract where it spreads out everything. Look, this has been leased. You can't go after the people that have already leased it legally. You know, it's in legal terms. So if you're selling exclusives that's already been leased, make sure you cover your ass. Make sure all the legal contracts, get someone to read them through. Get, you know, a professional, and do your thing. But just don't just do it without thinking about it. Make sure you plan it out.
I'm going to skip forward again because that response begets this new topic. You were talking about YouTube monetization, and in fact, I just received a copyright claim against me, and I receive copyright claims against me all the time.
Every day.
Every single day for beats, and it's a pain in the ass. For beats that I have on my beat store, people lease, and they sell through, say, I won't say TuneCore because they're next door, but say CD Baby. And now they're claiming my content and trying to get money off of my YouTube audience. Number one, are you collecting content ID money for your beats, and how are you doing that? And then number two, how do you respond to these scenarios in which you have a copyright claim against you for something that you own?
So typically on YouTube, if I get a dispute, I'll just dispute it back, and I'll just state that the artist, either one, if they lease the beat, I'll say they have the right to like use the beat, but they don't own exclusive rights, so they can't monetize it. It even states it in the contracts that BeatStars already like has pre-made. So for the exclusive rights and everything, like I just use what they have pre-made, but usually I'll just dispute it back, and I've always won. So like on YouTube, so pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I hate like that whole system that CD Baby and those guys have. Like, I think it should be illegal for them just to do mass random claims on people. I mean, that's the first thing. So, you know, hopefully one day they can change that system, because I literally get maybe 3 or 4 of these a day. You know, so It's a big problem. You know, the way that you can avoid that is if you content ID your own stuff. But you know, if you're using samples, you know, I sample a lot. You can't really content ID that legally. So hey, you know, it's kind of just you got to play the system. You got to be on point when people claim it and counterclaim it. It takes a lot of work, but you know, it's just one part of the game, really, especially if you're marketing via YouTube. But you know, it's not a bad problem to have in the way that, you know, if people are putting lots of claims on your beats, well, then a lot of people are rocking with your beats. You know, so you kind of got to take the rough with the smooth, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to add as well. Like, there's also a really, really good side to this, because if you do content ID on your beats through BeatStars, like every month we make from, let's say, $600 to $1,000 just with content ID on YouTube, because it happened that some famous YouTubers, like gaming YouTubers or something, used our beats for their videos, and these videos got like millions of views. And since they didn't purchase the proper license, we could monetize them, and all that happened automatically through BeatStars. So we kind of didn't have to put any work into it. They just used the beat, we could monetize it, and then we got the money for it. So it's kind of a way to secure your rights as well. And if you really think about it, like, you can create one preset text saying that you own the beat stems, that you own the beat project, you know, that the files are yours. You just copy paste it when you fight the dispute. And yeah, as Beat Demons already said, like, you usually always win the dispute. So it's like maybe, let's say, 1 or 5 minutes a day of work to dispute the claims, but there's so much more you get out of this. I mean, it can be as much as a normal day job, you know, so that's pretty big as well. It's a big deal.
Exact same thing for me.
So let me go back to the question that was normally scheduled. A lot of producers selling beats online, I've noticed, especially the Cratez I'm on their mailing list, use promotions to increase sales, such as, you know, free beats every now and then, or buy one, get one free kind of deals, or discount codes. Are these strategies that you've employed, and if so, which ones have you found to be most effective for your sales?
I usually do one every month, so that's where the email list comes back in for me. So I do, usually at the end of the month, I'll do just like a 50% off sale. It's not every single month, but any big holiday, I think everyone here does the same thing. Like Christmas, New Year's, Black Friday is crazy. I think everyone here can attest to that. So for me, it's mostly mailing lists. I do like 50% off sales. I think most of us do at least a buy one, get one free. Some of us do buy one, get 3 free. You don't have to do that, but I think if you want to compete, it depends, man. For me, I feel like my customers are so used to that, but it definitely helps. You just kind of have to do it to compete because everyone's doing the same thing. So I don't know, man. I feel like deals are probably the biggest source of income that I get every month, especially at the end of the month. So.
Yeah, there are also like other tactics that you can employ with the Facebook pixel, for instance. You can see that it's tracked that people sometimes added stuff to their cart, but they didn't check out, and you can track these people on Facebook. So basically what you can do as well is you can create a coupon code, and then an ad shows up for them that they intended to buy a beat, and if they come back now, they get 20% off on their purchase. So that's another way to kind of get them back to your page, purchase the beat with a discount, and you can kind of secure the purchase with that. So that's a big thing as well. Yeah, I think also like the stuff with the pixel that we mentioned earlier, you can use that really well for your discount codes as well, because if you got a customer list, you can on the one hand target them with email marketing, but on the other hand, you can also target them on Instagram or Facebook, you know, just uploading, let's say, an Instagram video of you making a beat or a picture of you in the studio, just saying, okay, I just uploaded new beats, everybody who's already familiar with you can come back, and if you purchase now, you get like 50% off on your purchase. So they gonna come there, do the purchase, and yeah, you got another order secured for yourself.
So I usually do the buy one get three free, and that one just works best for me. But I increased like my lease prices like by $5, and it made like a huge difference, like a very big difference. You know what I'm saying? And then like usually all my customers like that purchase beats before I put them in the mailing list, and probably like once a month, like towards the end of the month or like the 15th, I'll just send them like a discount code for like a week.